Today, I want to explore the inner workings of narcissistic systems. Over time, I've come to recognize three core elements that exist within every narcissistic system, elements that constantly interact and reinforce each other. These systems are subtle, pervasive, and designed to trap you in a cycle of manipulation and distortion. Let's break down how they operate and why understanding them is crucial for breaking free. These three core elements are at the heart of every narcissistic system. 1. The narcissist, the initiator and driving force behind the entire dynamic. They craft a belief system centered around themselves, essentially creating a false reality, a religion, where they are the supreme authority. 2. The scapegoat/sacrificial lamb, the individual who bears the brunt of the narcissist's manipulation. They are targeted, misrepresented, and often left to carry the emotional and psychological burden of the system. 3. The audience/observers, the people who, knowingly or unknowingly, reinforce the narcissist's constructed belief system. They play a crucial role in perpetuating the false narrative and maintaining the narcissist's control. These three elements, the narcissist, the scapegoat, and the audience, are constantly in a dynamic interaction, reinforcing one another and sustaining the narcissistic system. The narcissist is the driving force that sets everything in motion, much like the first domino in a chain reaction. Sometimes, they manipulate you directly, other times, they influence the audience first, who then, in turn, impact you. This cycle perpetuates itself, ensuring the system's survival and keeping the false reality intact. But it goes beyond just personal dynamics. The narcissist and the audience work together to construct a false reality. This illusion serves a deeper purpose. It redirects karma, redistributing it onto the scapegoats and sacrificial lambs. In doing so, the narcissist and the system itself remain cleansed, absolved of the consequences of their actions. As long as the sacrificial system is in place, the true architects of harm remain untouched. However, when this system collapses, the real karma comes crashing down, not on the scapegoats, but on the actual creators of harm. This is why the narcissistic system is designed to never collapse, at least not willingly. It must keep running, constantly feeding off fresh scapegoats and sacrificial lambs to sustain itself. Karma, as cause and effect, doesn't just bring punishment, it also brings positive returns. As long as the scapegoats and sacrificial lambs remain connected to the system siphons their positive karma, skills, abilities, luck, and energy, draining them while burdening them with the system's negative consequences. This is how narcissistic structures renew themselves, by stealing the good and offloading the bad onto others. But when the sacrificial system collapses, or when scapegoats and sacrificial lambs disconnect from it, the balance begins to shift. The system loses access to the stolen positive energy, and all the burdens it offloaded onto its victims begin returning to their rightful owners. However, this doesn't happen through forgiveness in the way many have been conditioned to believe, not through letting go. It is allowing the abusers to escape accountability. Instead, true harmony is restored when the stolen energy, skills, and luck are consciously and firmly reclaimed and the burdens, including the rightful negative karma, are consciously sent back to their original source. This is why narcissistic systems fear losing their scapegoats, because the moment they can no longer exchange energy, their own unresolved karma comes crashing down upon them. They start experiencing bad luck, illness, failure, and misfortune, the very things that once plagued you when you were trapped in their system. When you were connected to them, they flourished at your expense. They became lucky, successful, vibrant, and full of life, because they were siphoning it from you. Meanwhile, you began to decline. And they told you that your suffering or reactivity was just who you were, your true character. But that was a lie. What really happened was an exchange. Their darkness was implanted into you, while your light was extracted and claimed as their own. Your gold, your life force, creativity, luck, and abundance, was stolen. In its place, they forced their burdens, negativity, and misfortune onto you. And because you carried their darkness, you unknowingly attracted even more darkness into your life. Meanwhile, they attracted all the goodness that originally belonged to you, through carrying your gold. Now, as you reclaim what is yours and sever the ties, the balance begins to restore itself. They no longer receive your energy, they only receive what they gave you. And here's the truth, you are the source of the gold. You are the one who naturally generates abundance, vitality, and success. It is something that is created organically, through keeping a certain mental, psychological, and emotional hygiene. If you do what norms or narcissists do, the sacrificial rituals, gossiping, and the like, you cannot create that gold. Narcissists do not possess these things, they can only steal them by binding themselves to someone who does. That's why they always seem so obsessed with people. They claim to love people, to need deep connections, but it's not love. It's hunger. They need golden people, people like you, to feed off, exchange identities with, and deceive the world into believing they are something they are not. And to maintain this illusion, they also need a group of normal people who will uphold the false reality that keeps the entire sacrificial system in place. But the moment you break free, take back what's yours, and refuse to carry their burdens any longer, the deception crumbles. The gold returns to its rightful owner. And they are left with nothing but their own darkness. This isn't just a pattern in isolated relationships, it's a fractal, a repeating structure that extends throughout society. This is how the world has been organized for thousands of years. It explains why karma never seems to strike those who truly cause harm, because entire infrastructures exist to absorb and redistribute that karmic burden onto others. These sacrificial systems, embedded in religion, politics, social structures, and even family dynamics, have allowed the same cycles of exploitation to persist across history. But once you see it, you can break free. And when enough people step out of their assigned roles, the entire system faces collapse. So, going back to the three elements of narcissistic systems, here's how they operate and how they work together to create a sacrificial ritual, karmic exchanges, and an entire engineered reality infrastructure that upholds it. Even if you believe that the narcissist in your life doesn't have an audience, maybe they never openly smear you, always speak well of you in public, and even seem genuinely caring, this doesn't mean they're not shaping how others perceive you. They don't need to directly tarnish your reputation to manipulate the way others see you. Instead, they work indirectly, shaping emotional responses and planting subtle ideas in the minds of others. Through this, they engineer a perception of you that serves the system they've created, with the scapegoat unwittingly playing the part in their sacrificial drama. There are three primary ways they achieve this. 1. They use you to smear yourself. When they have direct access to you, they alter your emotional, psychological, and physical state through relentless manipulation. You might feel anxious, reactive, guilty, or on edge, emotions they strategically install in you. Then, when you interact with others, you give off an energy that rubs people the wrong way. Your reactions, mood, and demeanor become the smear campaign. And because emotions are contagious, others unconsciously respond to the negativity you've been programmed with, reinforcing the narcissist's portrayal of you. Meanwhile, they sit back, appearing supportive, concerned, or even admiring, seemingly innocent, while the destruction unfolds. 2. They manipulate the audience when they can't access you. If a narcissist doesn't have direct control over you, they shape how others feel about you instead. Through subtle but consistent suggestions, they implant ideas that spark resentment, jealousy, or distrust toward you. Their manipulation is so insidious that no one realizes their perception of you is entirely artificial. It is built on an emotional program they've been fed over time, not their true experience of you. Because this conditioning is gradual and indie. 3. They control both you and the world around you. The most devastating form of this manipulation happens when a narcissist has access to both you and the audience. At home, they break you down and shape you into the character they want you to play, agitated, insecure, defensive, or even self-sabotaging. Simultaneously, they program the outside world with this same character. They craft a version of you in people's minds, before you even interact with them. Then, when you show up, exhausted, stressed, or reactive from what they've put you through, people unconsciously confirm what they were led to expect. This creates a perfect feedback loop of entrapment. You are pushed into a distorted emotional state at home, then met with reactions that reinforce the very identity they imposed on you. The entire system is rigged so that no matter what you do, you confirm the narcissist's lie. Deep narcissistic abuse isn't just about manipulation, it's about complete transformation to the point where truth is permanently buried. You are trapped in a double bind so airtight that no matter what you do, there is no way to expose the truth. When you begin to recognize how these narcissistic systems operate, not just in individuals, but everywhere, it sets you apart. Most people won't see it, and those who haven't experienced deep narcissistic abuse will invalidate your perception. They'll dismiss you, call you paranoid, or even accuse you of being the narcissist. Not because it's true, but because they can't handle what you see. Narcissists themselves will use the same tactic, not out of ignorance, but because they know you see through them. And the deeper your awareness, the more powerless you become within the system. You realize that narcissistic structures are woven into everything, not just personal relationships, but entire social, institutional, and cultural dynamics. These systems work through three fundamental elements: shaping perceptions, installing false beliefs in people's minds. Transforming reality, because beliefs create reality, false perceptions manifest into collective false realities. Enforcing the lie, the system ensures that everyone upholds the distorted reality, leaving no room for the truth to break through. At this point, you understand something most people never will: reality, as most experience it, is not real, it is engineered. And once you see that, what's left? You withdraw. You give up on trying to fix a world that is too broken, too programmed. You lose interest in engaging with the game, because you know the house always wins. The more you see how manipulation is at the core of everything, the less you want anything to do with it. Instead, you turn toward what is real. The warmth of the sun on your skin. The quiet presence of trees. The rhythm of the waves. The only truths that remain untouched by manipulation. And that is where freedom begins.